My name is Poku. I am 23 years old, and we are right now at the closet.
She moving her waist. 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 She moving her waist.
Well, it all started about 9 to 8 months ago, where I was seeing so many venues, a lot of great venues, but I noticed some small little issue was that these venues are either too widespread or people feel like if it's just a casual just hangout. I wanted to make a venue where people are close together, vibing out, listening to the music, focusing on the DJs, focusing on the visuals, all these crazy lighting effects that's going on, making them feel like they're inside a club, but not really, particularly in the IRL club. It all started with a friend of mine named Mr. Ree, who has helped me work on Unity. So he's been teaching me how to create certain things, ways to set up a certain shader, certain world piece object, etc. From there on, I just keep working and working and working. It took me about 3 months to even understand how the shader works. But eventually, I got to a point where I'm like, okay, so yeah, I know how to do this now. And then I wanted to make a one special world where this is mainly focusing to the front of the DJ, where people could just vibe out, going insane wild. So that's what I did, created the closet. And in this space, it's just focusing heavily on visuals and the music. And honestly, it's been a great experience so far. Everyone's been telling me they're enjoying the view. They're enjoying all the views of the crazy light shows. So it took about, I want to say 6 months to create this world. Only because I wanted to understand more about how people feel about close space, and if they are okay with it. Because I know some particular people wouldn't really be too fond about getting too close with one another. But, since VRChat has this new update where you can actually hide avatars depending on your distance, then yeah, fuck it. We're going all out. Well, this goes back to where I was thinking, I wanted just a small venue. I want something small. I want something where it's easier to really listen to the music and you're not just spreading out into certain corners in the world. Where I get this inspiration of the closet, I particularly just got it from a friend of mine named Baby Jack. And we were talking about world ideas or creations. We usually go back and forth on how we should create our worlds or what or how it should look. And I threw an idea. It's what if we just make a world as a closet, literally just a closet. We agreed, both agree. It was pretty funny. She loved it. She loved the idea. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm actually gonna do something like that. So I got working on some assets. She helped me out with some few Blender ideas, and she also created some things for me as well, like this sign over here. That's also, she made the logo for the sign, and a friend of mine named Himitsu-chan made this sign for this world. But I'm getting off topic. But the real inspiration, it really just came from seeing the word closet. I just literally thought in my head, what if we just made a world that's legit is a closet? This actually comes from Shelter. They were my second VR club I ever been to. When I went to their old world, Shelter Club, I think it was Shelter Club, I forgot the name of it, but it was a map where you go into the elevator, it brings you down, and you're inside a cool small space. Ever since I experienced that venue, I was honestly mind blown with the shader effects, how the lighting are literally controlling your avatars and everything around you. And I wanted to do something similar like that. I wanted to bring a space where everyone can also experience it well when Shelter's not always, available to bring out the shows. They always do it every 2 weeks. I started doing the show every week to, have people experience these kind of shaders effect. And it's awesome because lighting guy named Mr. Game, he's been showing me his work. He was the one who was working the lights for Shelter Club, and it's amazing. And he taught me the things that what controls what with the audio link. And I was like, wow, I really want to do this. This is what inspires me to create something like this. Because if I enjoy this lighting show, I'm pretty sure anyone else would definitely will love it. So yeah, so I started to mess around with the shaders, the lighting, and have like a perfect and not too crazy experience with the shaders to make everyone feel like, wow, I really want to come back here again. It's not too crazy, it's not too bright, but it's like perfect enough to be like, just going wild and stay with the music. What the pad is, it's just literally just a bunch of buttons with special effects. Each one does a certain effect in that each of the buttons has a certain effect. One does some intense lighting, one does some soft lighting. It's pretty simple. It's just one click of a button and boom, there's your one special show lighting effect going off. The shader that I use is Mochi shader. Each of their shader has a certain category of what does what. There's distortion, there's fog, there's an outline, etc., etc. And what I do is I select each one, design it how I want it to look, and just put it in the button, and that's it. My advice to someone looking to shader, I always say just mess around with it. There's no really particular way on how you should look into a shader. It's like that's how I started. I got a shader, Mochi, Pyomi Pro, Little Tune, all these shaders that I have, I put them inside the world and see what does what. It's also tutorials, of course, on YouTube to show you how the shaders works. But for me personally, I just like to mess around to see how it works, instead of just watching like a 10-15 minute video. It can be helpful, but for me, I just like to experience it on my own. It's much easier. You will understand it pretty much faster. So you're like, oh yeah, so this does this does that. To the point where I think I have done what I can with the sword is when I feel like it's finished. I still don't think it's finished. People think it's done, complete, all is ready to go. I personally don't think it is. I have so much work to do in this world that I'm pretty sure everyone will love. I'm always going back onto Unity, thinking on what I could add, what I could change. And as you can see, the progress, like it keeps changing. There's always a new update. There's always new small changes around. I'm always working on it. And it's like, I don't think it's ready. I think it's still in the progress of becoming better and much, much bigger. Right now, I still feel like it's in a beta progress. It's really not finished, but you'll know when it's finished. You'll just feel it and you just know that, yeah, this is it. Yeah, it's definitely still in the progress of me trying to expand it, if that's the way to put it. Right now, it feels like a simple, like, oh yeah, I'm in the venue, here I am. But I wanted to give an experience, almost like giving a story of walking into the closet, in a way. I wanted the people feel like you're experiencing the closet instead of just spawning in, here's the music, here's the lights. Like, at the first time when I built this world, I honestly did not think anybody would enjoy this world. Because it's small, I don't know if people like small spaces, but my first idea was like, yeah, I don't know. Let's just build it and see how it goes. But when I see these messages and all these comments about the world that they want to play it honestly brings tears to my eyes, because I'm just like, wow, I actually created a venue where talented artists wants to play at. And what it was super surprising for me that Luca Lush actually came to this world, DM me saying like, wow, I really love your work, and I DM them back saying like, oh my god, like if you want to play here, please feel free to do so. And at that night when it happened, I was just mind blown. Like, this is actually happening. Like, not only just the big IRL artists out the scene is enjoying my venue, but everyone else in VR is really happy on where it's going, how it's like building, and it is really, really happy to just feel that energy from everyone. It's just it really does like bring tears to my eyes, and I love it, and I'm just happy that I've done this. Yeah, like whenever since I've got into VR, I always thought to myself, things are definitely changing. Things are becoming more advanced, and even in the music scene itself, I feel like it's going to come into VR. The reason why I say that is because, well, besides COVID happening, everyone is feeling more comfortable, more, relaxed when it comes to the VR, because, you're in your home, having fun, drinking, dancing, listening to music, and you're in a safe environment. You don't have to worry about anything crazy going on when you're inside an actual club. This is a safe place for you. Like, if you ever feel too uncomfortable at one point, just log off and you're out of there. So I really do see not only myself but everyone else in VR bringing the music scene in here, like not only just in the closet but everywhere else in the venue. It's becoming to a point where there's actually now festivals and concerts are happening in VR, and that's how I know it's like, yeah, things are really changing for the best. And I cannot wait for it to keep growing to a point where we're like, wow, we're all here in our headsets hanging out. Don't have to travel like 20 miles away or 50 miles or a country, state, whatever, just to see one show, and then go all the way back home feeling exhausted. You're just here with your headset hanging out, listening to music, and it's awesome, and I love it. I honestly think like the performance here in VR is incredible, because you wouldn't normally see this in IRL scenes as well. Like, yeah, you'll see some holograms, some cool lighting and laser shows, but here in the VR, you could do so much more. You're pushing the boundaries out of the IRL scene into VR, where to a point you could literally create anything. Like, in my opinion, I think it's great. I think it's really pushing the boundaries of a lot of shows out there, and people are loving it. Exactly, for one example where you said about Mayhem, about the Tenko, it's like, yeah, people are like freaking out about it, like, whoa, what the fuck? And they loved it, because it's like you don't suspect that to happen at all. Like, it's always that element of surprise, pretty much. Like, you see something out of the ordinary, you're like, wow, I want to come back here and experience that again. I really cannot wait to see someone one day create some, I don't know, like insane world with this insane shader and then let it pop off. Super exciting to think about. I'm gonna spare one little secret. Where I'm trying to get at right now with the world is the animation of the screens. So I want to do, and even though I want to do something where, like, even in IRL Festival, you see like objects like moving around and stuff. I want to do something similar to it. Like, I guess to put one example, like in an Excision show, you could see like a giant T-Rex moving, or I don't know, like a giant hologram, something just like out of the ordinary that you can't really experience it like in an everyday basis, So what I'm trying to do here in the closet is something similar to that. I wanted to make you feel like, wow, this is something that you can't really see every day. Poku, and welcome to the closet.